Hi yogis, happy this day. In all honesty, this is a Wednesday. Wednesdays I do Veracity, and in the truth, I need some release. I need some relief. And as far and wide as I've searched, applied, and practiced, I've found that my body is my best way in as well as the best way out. So if you've been trapped inside, or if you've felt entirely scattered on the outside, right, there's a happy medium, right? So we know that in the practice of being, we are outside of the body often as much as we are inside the body. When we return, we're at a state of ease. When we're far away, we don't really notice until the time comes where you're like, oh, I need to regather, regroup, and recenter. So here we are for that. So welcome. Let's practice a little half hour of yoga, fun, little Veracity alignment. So close your eyes for just a moment. We'll take a few breaths if you haven't been mindfully breathing, or if you have for the return or for the continuation. Take an inhale here to feel the lightness, and even in lightness, right, the inhale is full and it comes to a stopping point and it's tight. So that tightness is in full release, and there's the joy of the exhale. It flows, it softens. Sometimes we even feel like slouching on the exhale because it is so delightful. And at that bottom, it actually feels like so empty. There's a point where if you didn't take another breath successfully at the end of your exhale, panic ensues. So we go with nature and we take that next inhale just as we do as life flows on. So will we go forward and through. To be an individual, a person that practices flow, you expect that your edges are not rigid, right? You can hardly perceive your edges as much as you notice your curves, right? The way we sweep around, through and over and under obstacles. And as we find ourselves developing, as much as I know, as challenging as life and the world can be, that is exactly why we're here. So on we go, the obstacle is the way. Together, right? We'll bring our hands and our hearts. Allow yourself to honor the place that you are, the way you are working, and life, living. Let's do this together. Yay. Okay. You can't see this chair because it's invisible. It's a ghost. All right, I'm coming to my mat. One of the best ways I know to center myself is to recognize my center, right? So when you take your feet wide, right, one of the sort of the biggest red flags for any individual that stands in neutral with their legs too wide, obviously this is extremely wide, but too wide would suggest that you haven't got the confidence to be in your center, right? And so emotionally, our body might signal that, and you might be doing stuff like that right now, but also, as you may know, that is a symptom. It's also a remedy. So we just go big, we go bigger, right? So we go wide, the feet are parallel to each other, and for right now, I'm in control, right? So my legs are not so far away that I can't feel my legs underneath me, and I'm just gonna wiggle my hips, right? A little wiggle, some shimmy. What you can notice right here with your hips, your legs are this wide in your hips, and so whether you have kind of syndromes, places, tightness, movement, kind of stickiness, is that somewhere you're gonna probably avoid, right? And when you avoid parts of your body, for whatever that might feel like, right? If you're avoiding sensations of pain or reminders of old injuries, traumas, right? You might even hold your breath. But you also may find that the reason things stay around too long is because we don't give it space to breathe so that it can pass by to move away. So if you're doing like me, now I have my hands on my hips, I'm just kind of, the hips don't lie, I'm really enjoying this, right? So I'm tipping right and left, but I'm also kind of doing a little sort of jet forward and back, kind of diagonally forward to my right and back to my left, and now doing the other side, right? Just kind of noticing, right? It's kind of groovy, it's kind of hip, finding some fluidity, right? And then you come to the middle, so everything steadies and you've explored, right? You possibly know more, or you might just feel a little bit looser. So either way, those are good places to be. My arms are open wide, and I'm turning my palms out like stop. I'm pressing out through my wrists, which come from your forearms, right? And if you stay here long enough, you're gonna get a tingle. Hopefully it's not so tingly that you feel numb, but they will sort of hearken to the sort of idea of being a little numbing, right? So there's a little bit of pressure right here on the compartment of your carpal tunnel, so that should be expected, right? And still the arms are out now, fingers are pointing down, and you just kind of, your paws are tucked in. There's a lot more flexor right here. This might be more uncomfortable or less. This is now going to stretch the back of the wrist, right? The back of the hand, your extensors, as well as put a little flex in your forearms, right? So now level it out. We're at center. Okay, feet are still parallel. Left hand goes to the left leg, and now right arm is just going straight up. Reach towards your sky. Right, the hips stay relatively even, but if you aren't paying attention, and that would be a sign of being out of the body, right? Is that you're focusing only on what's most obvious, right? That top arm. Stay with the body in your center. Keep your hips balanced, right? Hips, sit bones, level, waistline, however that works for you, right? Keep that space long to transition. Switch sides, right hand goes to right leg, left arm goes up. My eyes are looking up too, so I'm kind of staying in the chain, right? The chain of command that the left arm offers, which also keeps your neck muscles and your shoulder pretty much in the sense of following the game, right? The game is to be balanced, right? Respecting sides. Arms are out to the side. Okay, you're gonna turn on your left heel to your left, and then you're gonna plant that foot. So now I'm simple warrior 2, okay? And then wiggle in it. Don't be afraid to notice that perhaps you've been doing this for years, and you start to notice, you're like, am I doing this wrong? Have I been doing this wrong for 12 years or more? Maybe. It's only wrong if it starts sort of showing up as uncomfortable to you, and that might just be a sign that you've got more space and you have to dive in a little bit deeper in your engagement, which is not a terrible thing, right? All right, take your hands to your left leg, left foot, and all you're doing is straightening the left leg to fold into a little pyramid. Okay? Very gently, you're gonna bend that left knee again. That feels nice. And you're gonna go back for a 3-legged dog. So it's a left leg back, hip open, and a little knee bend. I don't think that's very little, but it's a knee bend. Right, so 3-legged dog with an open hip. And then work that foot, right? Work the middle. You can work the standing leg, just kind of softening and feeling all the joints of the toes, the foot, the ankle, and trying not to push into a stopping point. So really sort of savor that place just before things stop. So we don't want to feel like we're sort of forcing ourselves into a stuck place. So finding the flow. Step the left foot forward. Right heel is over to the left. Again, left leg straightens. We're going to open through the right arm. So now you're in triangle pose, and your right arm in triangle pose is going to bring us up to where we started in the wide straddle. Reach to the sky. Okay, then you're going to turn on the right heel and bend the right knee. And you land in warrior 2. And again, right, what do you do? What do you find? What will you say when it shows up? What would you do for a Klondike bar? You know that commercial? I didn't know what I would do because I hadn't had one until I was 20. And then I was like, really? I'm not sure. Do people do terrible things for Klondike bars? The commercials suggested that way. Take your hands to that right foot. Hey, you're in just a lunge, lat, back heel still down. Whoo, right leg straightens. So I like to sort of make sort of a reference and sort of make fun of myself because I didn't pull my hamstring, but my hamstring has kind of an attitude on my right side. And so that attitude is only suggesting that I slow down, which is fine. Not slow down in my life, but slow down when I'm taking care of myself. So that's a cute cue, right? So I'm caring for myself right now by just noticing I need some time to center and ground in my body. And then I'll be better in my response to whatever kind of turbulence or changes that are going on around us, right? Good or bad, high or low, in or out. Just being sort of a stable being and feeling like yourself, no matter how things change. Okay, right knee bends, then right leg's gonna sweep back so you can go for that open hip three-legged dog. So my hands, right? One thing that there's a tendency to lose sight of is where you're grounded, where the hands hold the floor, the fingers spread wide, and the dogs are barking, right? Whee! Hip is open, and that's super fun, and then slowly, right? So we know every moment, every precise second, if you were to pause it, to feel it, be like, yes, my abs, yes, my heel, yes, my toes, yes, my knees, right foot step forward. Back heel goes down so you can straighten that right leg again. And then your next inhale is left arm up, triangle pose. Triangle pose is, I think, kind of on the sort of the pinnacle, the sort of top tier of therapeutic poses. And people always think, oh, therapeutic body, right? There's lots of great places, angles, alignment, corrections, relief of pressure in this pose for a lot of things, syndromes in the person. But it also is really, really leveling heart to brain, right? So there's no dominance here. They're all both in the same plane. Okay, left arm pulls you up, feet parallel, left arm is up, eyes are up, and then left hand comes down by your side. Take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, and you're gonna go halfway forward first, so shoulders the height of your hips. Right, little tuck of the chin, so you don't have to look too far forward at the floor. Right, and then as you start to push your hands away, your neck gets longer in the back. Okay, and then you start to hinge further at the pelvis and the hips, and that's when you drop the head, and the neck stays long as your arms just gently float over the head, maybe far, maybe not far, doesn't matter. Okay, keep those fingers interlaced so that when you come up, it's a journey, right? Still the fingers interlace, the belly pulls in, you got a little standing back bend with all this wide straddle. You have lots of room. Whew. Come upright. Still hands behind you, fingers interlaced. I'm turning on my left heel to my left, and I'm taking a warrior one with bound arms. Right? So you can stay very upright, keep the belly tucked in, and just be very, very tall and just enjoying what you're doing with the placement of the legs and feeling the feet on the floor. But you can also use those hands back behind you, those fingers interlaced, to pull the shoulders back. Okay, we let the arms go. Then you're up in a nice warrior one. To exhale, hands to touch the floor. Left leg straightens, there's your pyramid pose again. And the funny thing that you might notice just on this one, which I'm also recognizing right now, it's a contralateral release, meaning, right, you straighten, the action is in the left leg. When you straighten that hamstring, feels nice, but the response and the joy comes to the opposite side of the low back and the hip, right glutes, right, QL, low back, ribs, and all the way up the right side body. So maybe you're feeling that. Left knee bends, left leg goes back, yay, three-legged dog. And because this is a great day to sort of practice specialness without feeling like you're sort of being left behind by any of the other things that sort of show up as flashy, right? So we can do flashy things when we're just kind of being really sort of simple and slow, right? So turn your right heel to the right. And you've got sort of the pinky toe and the right side of the heel down to the floor. And a little wider open left hip. And you're actually going to allow that left foot to go down, and then you're gonna sit on your booty, and we're gonna take our little twist over that left knee. Right, this one tends to give us a nice kind of an internal hug squeeze around your heart, right? It's harder to breathe right here, so the lungs are also kind of pulling pressure in a little bit firmer, and they press against your heart, which is also really interesting considering how strong our heart's in. Our heart beats right back into our breath. Okay, come back around, right hand to the floor, left arm goes up first, push into that left foot to come up, wrap it around, left foot between the hands. Okay, left leg straightens, right arm up. I don't want to tell you how to feel, but now that we're on this sort of second pass of this sequence and in this triangle pose again, I imagine and hope that you notice how this triangle is all you. Right? Everything about this levels up for you. That's the point, that's the plan at least. Right arm's gonna pull you up to stand. Whoo, feet are parallel, yay. And then right hand comes down. Both hands behind you, interlace the fingers again, shoulders back, chest lifts, chin lifts, squeeze the glutes, heart open. Right, follow your exhale. First we go halfway to make sure the arms are pulling back and lifting. Keep the back of the neck long, right? Not pinching any of those muscles. Because we're trying to release here, not to make things sort of more complicated. Right, head is dropping and arms are going forward. This might even have already sort of opened some space in the front of your chest and your pectoral muscles and your shoulders. So now this might have resulted or shown up as a better shoulder opener. Okay? Coming all the way back up. And pull the belly in so you get back into your alignment. Turn on the right heel, right knee, bend. Warrior one first, upright with the bound arms. Okay? Getting into where you feel clear. Right knee above the right heel, so we're not being too quick that we miss that cue. Right, outside of that back foot, down to the floor, so the arch actually feels on the medial edge, big toe to inner heel. Feels like it's arching right up into your left inner thigh. So that's kind of a nice place to feel. Your inner thigh muscles are pulling on the arch of your foot, giving you more buoyancy. And then if you want that back bend, do. Right, arms go up. There's your warrior one. Whew. Hands come down. There's your low lunge to your triangle or pyramid pose. Right, so right leg straightens. You may also push a little farther out into that right foot down to the toes, lighten the heel. Right knee bends so that you can sweep this back to a three-legged dog. Right, and play and take your time with the weight shift, right? So we're going right hand to left hand, outer edge of left heel. We're still very tall and lifted and strong in the right glutes, okay? And then you're playing so slow and so careful to place the right foot, to place your booty, left hip, right hip, turn, twist over the right shoulder. Ooh. This is going to be just enough time to get all the things done that are really just letting us be relaxed in our person, confident, and patient, right? So who better to teach patience than one of the most impatient people and you've ever met, right? So I know all the pitfalls. I know all the pitfalls, right? I want it now, but I'm learning to wait. Okay, left arm up over the shoulder, hand to the floor. Pressing down right heel to spring you up through that three-legged dog to place the right foot between the hands, back heel down, and first we take that pyramid and just slowly allow it to evolve up into your triangle pose. Okay. I always like to point out that the knees do not lock here. The legs are straight, and they are indeed, but the knees are not so stuck that you feel that you're kind of forcing them in the direction that are sort of not the direction they're intended to go, okay? So your knees would do better to have more of a bend than to have sort of a knee that is so locked that it feels like it might be compromising its integrity and stability. So a neat little knee bend shows up with just a little bit more strength. Left arm pulls you up. Ooh. Parallel the feet, left arm goes down. Okay, this is the last part, and we're gonna add a little bit of what we did last Veracity. So take the arms out as we've started. Right, now turn the palms to face forward. And you're gonna wrap your arms forward, tuck in, so you're gonna round the back C curve, and you're gonna give yourself a hug. Doesn't matter which one's on top, chin tucks. Okay? You come back up, and palms are still facing forward. Pull the wrist back and open the chest, lift the chin. There's a little back bend. On your exhale, again, round, tuck the tailbone, right? Hold the back, right? If you're feeling sort of silly and corny, this is what it looks like from the side, right? So I'm massively rounding. So that's what kind of looks like a C curve. And then if you're silly, then, and someone's behind you, you can pretend someone's giving you a sexy little gropey hug. All right. What a good joke. Right, arms open up, chest up, tailbone down. There's a nice feel of just kind of, this is a heartfelt back bend, right? And as your hands are still back there, we'll take those hands to interlace, and again, we will forward, bow. Okay? As you come up, release the arms open and wide. You're gonna take this into warrior two. Super cute. Ooh, and my shadows look really cool too. Whoa, so much stuff, right? Left palm turns up, go for reverse warrior. Oh yeah, and we're gonna take a couple of sort of joyful, surrendering bows into this warrior pose, this goddess variation, right? So you look over your right shoulder towards your back right foot and just tuck the chin. So you're getting a little bit of the half of a C curve here, and then a big reveal of triumph, heart open. There's another sort of realignment of your reverse warrior. Exhale, tuck back. Inhale, and open. Yay. One more, just like that. What you're gonna notice too on this, and hopefully it shows up right here in this third one, right? Best bow ever. Wrapping back, that left shoulder feels so good and stable in itself, in the way the arm is connected to the body. Follow, left arm forward, right hand forward to the left foot. Pyramid pose, left leg straightens. Yay, and we're even gonna take right hand to that left foot, and for a moment, inhale up for a twisted triangle pose. Left leg straight, left arm up. Left foot pressing down, left fingers spreading out and up. Okay, left hand comes back down as the left knee bends. Sweep this back, three-legged dog. Here's that open hip, and then let's play with this. Okay, right heel tip. And then for a moment, back off of the left foot, reaching to the floor to jump or land or fall into your wild thing. Think a moment first to just kind of tuck in, reach back and touch your knee. Okay, and then with that security of knowing, okay, I'm secure, I'm planted here, right foot's to the floor, left foot land. Let's go first. A little wild thing, reach. Right, so hips are up, shoulders on your back. I know that's a little bit more complicated for a beginner class, but we're testing the boundaries, right? It's not undoable, but it does definitely something that you can just omit and not do, which is fine, but don't shy away. I know that a lot of people look for that pose to show up. I certainly do. Here's your twist. Right leg is straight, left knee is bent. I'm pushing my elbow down to keep my shoulder blade down and the right side of my neck long. Right, so I know that I'm opening myself to the sensations rather than shoving myself into them, right? I don't want to ram them. Over the shoulder, right hand to the floor, left heel presses you, left hand to the mat, left foot step, and then we're setting our triangle pose up again. Right arm to the sky. Last one for this side. Right arm pulls you up. Yay. Bring the hands to your heart. Let's go two more of those sexy hugs. Arms open wide, palms towards the front. Pull the hands back, open the chest, right? Lift the chin. And then on your exhale, C curve round, hug. That feels good. It deserves a couple breaths right here. Think of pushing your breath between the fibers of your muscles. Right, again, one more time. Wow, power pose, yay, open. The other arm's on top in this hug. Sexy hug, ooh, 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 love you, love you. right? Open the arms wide again. Phew. And then you're gonna take your heart forward, interlace the fingers. Last time with a shoulder stretch. So this is the whole gamut, right? Full spectrum body, right? Globally, in touch, open, grounded, feeling exactly how we recognize ourselves to be. Okay, inhale that up, arms open wide, right? Take this warrior two. This is kind of my favorite. I was thinking about how to get to this reverse warrior variation, this three-peat that we're doing, and this is like my grand finale. Right, palm turns up, we go reverse warrior, right? So why is this a grand finale? Well, do it, and then you find out, right? So the last side was pretty awesome, right? Tuck down, look back towards your foot, your C-curving, legs don't change, but that upper back does, from the right hip to the right arm, and wrap it open, back to that reverse warrior. Exhale again, tuck it, reach it, chin tucks so it doesn't irritate your neck or your shoulders. Again, wrap it open, yay. And then one more time, because we love it. Awesome. And we open it up. That should be feeling pretty muscular and sweet. Awesome. Come up to bring your hands to that right foot. Okay, right foot, right leg straightens. There's your pyramid pose, and then left hand for a moment is going to either the right foot or it's staying wide to the left. Sorry, I didn't say that before. You know me, I like to give the variation only on the second side after we're done with everything else. Right hip stays back and down, and right arm goes up, and heart sweeps back behind you to the right. Shoulders in your back, right arm is really taking over here so that it's not all falling into that left hand and down to the foot. Okay? As the right hand comes down, the right knee bends, right leg sweeps back, up and open. Okay, take a moment, let's explore this first with the hover. So left heel goes left. So you may have your entire foot to the floor and you're backing up on that right knee so that you can reach back and touch it. Or get close to it, hold it. Hold it for a moment and smile for the camera, right? Right, so when you let it go with purpose, you get that foot where you want it to be. Right, you point the left toes, you tuck that left shoulder, the arm on the floor, on your back, strong back, right arm reaching. Nice and smooth, mostly guided with the grounding of that right foot, so we're not relying heavily on that left shoulder, we're just allowing that left shoulder to explore its mobility rather than kind of pushing it into a hard place, right? Or you want a stable place. Whew. Talking, right? Good twist, right? That one feels like it's sort of landed at the climax. Left arm over the shoulder, hand to the floor. Step that right foot between your hands, and we're going triangle pose here. Hallelujah, right? That right foot pressed down, left arm picks you up, and then that hand comes down, right? Come back, look at your hips a little bit. Does that feel different? Maybe just a little freer. Maybe this has just got you prepared, primed, ready for more, right? You might do more. Pull the heels in, turn the toes out. Exploring just a little bit more of that adductor openness. Nice grounded heels. Ooh, I like that. And then hands come to the floor. You can step this, or you can hop this down to your knees. That's nice. And then come to stand on your knees. All right, I'm gonna turn to the side just so you get an idea of what this looks like. I like to talk this through first with the tucked toes, so the heels are high. And this is gonna be a very, very simple thing. So you're gonna look over your right shoulder, your feather earring is falling down towards your right knee. You're gonna look down, and you might be able to just sweep your hand back and find the heel. If that's a no-no, then you go to your right hip, no problem, okay? Like I said before, your eyes go in the direction of the arm. So at this moment, we're planning the action in that right? So hip or heel. And then we're going for the left arm, and we're just gonna peel it open to balance the shoulder blades. Okay, you're gonna use that left arm to pull you up, so it's not your low back that's charging you into that. Switching sides, I'm gonna turn just so you get another sort of vantage point. I'm looking over my left shoulder, my right hand is just on my chest or ribs, and my left hand is floating back. You either have your toes tucked or untucked, depending on you, hip or heel, right? And as you lean into that, your left hip, both hips press forward, and your right arm just sweeps up and over to the right to balance, to lift, to reach, to smile. Yay. Peace, peace, peace. Right arm pulls you up, and there we are. So you're on your knees for a moment, and then shift yourself to a cross-legged position, right? However you cross your legs that give you a feeling that this is the familiar way to hold your hips as you sit mindfully, right? Sit in your center, close your eyes. This won't take long. Take a moment to feel the breath that was supporting you, because right here we're kind of moving on the dregs, or riding the coattails of the bigness of our practice. Right, so we still the body, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm breathing a lot. I'm breathing deeply. Feel it too, don't block it. See how the permission has been granted, how you've given yourself the room to move freely within yourself. No stagnance, no stuck, no anxiousness. Sometimes we feel anxiousness, everyone feels anxiousness, right? It's not comfortable to feel anxious, but it's not inhuman to be. We get off center and we come back to center. We enjoy being at center because we know what it's like when we're not. And to that, to relief, to release, to our hearts. Right, hands come to your heart, bow gently to that sweet space. To all hearts. Yay. Namaste. Here we are. So, hope for the best. All good things to you, to us, to we, and I will see you soon. All right. I hope that was fun. Bye. Stay cute. Happy holidays.